How are you?
James, I'm very well. Fancy meeting you here.
I know, funny that, isn't it? Um, anyway, thanks to everyone for watching this video. Andrea and I have we've worked in the past together on numerous projects at HQ, especially relating to the youth leadership team. And obviously, as we're both going for different roles on the board, myself trustee and Andrea deputy president, we thought it was worth sort of doing a little Q&A between us about our experiences, some of the things we've learned, and just having a bit of a chit chat between us so you can get to know us a little bit better. But Andrew, I guess, about 4 years ago, I think I walked into the boardroom and we had a little chat, didn't we, about the plan for the youth going forward, and ultimately landed on the youth leadership team. And I guess thanks to you for assisting me throughout that journey. I think we both learnt a hell of a lot, and something that, as we've just appointed our next youth ambassador group going forward, it's just great to see that now taking its next step, right?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I can remember that day, James. It was almost like rabbit in headlights. It was like, what have I done? What's all this all about? But the fact that you had that vision really early on, and you're in your term of office, you had enough time to actually get your teeth into it and to actually make it happen. So it was, I know you probably were thinking about it for quite a while before you actually were nominated or appointed to that particular position. But it made a big difference right from the start that you were ready to go. So yeah, it was a good project. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think, looking back on some of the numerous chats we had, Andrew, I think is probably one way to put it at that stage. But yeah, I think it's grown massively. And, one of the biggest things I think we both learned through it is that, volunteers are so precious, and going through the process of looking after them and making sure they're happy and making sure that they're committed to delivering for the organisation and can see that big goal at the end is so important that we have them all working together. And I think we were so fortunate, to be honest, that they gelled pretty much instantly the first time they met. And I think that people aspect of volunteering in general is so important, because people do want to enjoy it. They do want to go out, meet new people. And I think we were incredibly lucky with the people that we got together, that they really did just gel overnight, right?
They did. I mean, I can remember the kind of plan that we had for those first couple of days, and there was an icebreaker there. As any organisation does when you're forming a new team, it's like, okay, let's do a bit of the forming before they start performing. But actually, we went from coffee and cake straight into let's get down to business. They just seemed to almost know each other. It was like as if they morphed into this group with very little need for all those random ice-breaking exercises that you normally do for a team. They're really good, really, really good.
Yeah, thank God we didn't have to use the icebreaker as well.
No, it was now.
No one likes an icebreaker, really. But Andrew, I did have one question for you aside from the YLT that I was thinking about the other day. I think you're very unique in your position, that obviously you've been a staff member of the organisation and have a huge amount of experience and knowledge about us. And looking forward, if there's one thing that you could change about our society going forward, what would that be, and what would that look like?
Well, I'm obviously going to say this in jest, James, because you and I are both standing for trustee positions, but obviously new faces on the trustee board. But the conversations that I've actually had with a lot of members over my time with RLSS has very much focused around the need for people to do things. So when we as a HQ were actually asking for support to deliver campaigns or whatever it was in the community, it was often a case of, well, there's only a couple of us to do things. It's the same people who are always doing it. So from my perspective, I think it's about attracting a lot more people to actually support the work that RLSS does, and recognizing them for what they do. They don't all have to be members, although as an ex-member membership manager, obviously I want them all to be members, but some will come in and to do maybe short-term work with us. And it's about us then encouraging them to stay as members and to, be with the organisation for a long time. But for me, it's about getting more bodies. And I know a conversation I had with a member staff a little while ago when I looked at the hierarchy of where other membership bodies were in the top 100. And obviously RLSS didn't focus in that at all as far as the numbers were concerned. But ping pong was number 100. There were more members in a ping pong society in the UK than there were in RLSS. So
Wow.
come on, guys, we want to be better than the ping pong society. Let's get more members. But, you know, jesting aside, I think let's get more people involved. Teachers, you know, anyone who actually can share our messaging, and then gradually encourage them to become a member, and that will grow our family, you know, exponentially.
Yeah, I think that's so true. I think it's obviously I've been in a volunteer role myself, and trying to find people to man stands, to, you know, hand leaflets out, to go into schools, or, you know, whatever the opportunity may be, right? There's so many ways you can get involved, and just having the manpower almost, right, to go out and do it is actually, it is tough, and it can be a massive barrier to actually spreading the message in the first place. You know, we've got this great message to say, this new brand, this new strapline, new strategic framework, but if you don't have the people to go out there and deliver it and shout about it, it can look great on paper, but you need the people behind it to really bring it to life. And yeah, don't get me wrong, we've got amazing people out there that do that at the minute, right? But I think I said
We
in my
need
video,
more.
yeah, if we were a 20,000 people, 20,000 member organization, the impact that would have compared to now, you know, it'd be double. And yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think that's a great point.
Yeah. Well, kind of reflecting on my experiences with RLSS, I was thinking what I could actually ask of you, and you've kind of come through a pathway of you know, a successful community club, and I'm just wondering what you think RLSS UK and Ireland actually needs to do to build its club structure. What does it need to do to actually make more of them, shall we say?
Yeah, it's such a fair point, and you know, it's one avenue into our organisation, right? I think we probably underestimate how many different avenues, one way or another, we have into what we do. You know, you've got the lifeguard angle and etc. And I think, you know, looking at clubs, that is where I started at the age of 14. Andrea, can you believe it? 12 years ago.
Arms,
And yeah, the only reason I got involved was my best friend's sister needed a class to teach to get, you know, her TA qualifications. So I only really did it as a favour over anything else, to be honest. And yeah, 14 years later, here I am. But I think it's so important that, you know, those clubs do exist, because it captures people from a really young age. So I know other organisations do it really well. So you've got scouts, for example, that capture people at such a young age, and then have a really good pathway to take them forward through the organisation. So yeah, you can be a young leader, then you can be a camp leader, or etc. etc. So yeah, the club, I think, is really underestimated in where it sits within the dynamic. It's that first touch point with a lot of people, you know, of all ages, to be honest, have with the organisation. You know, what can we do to build them? I think, you know, we've got an exciting pilot happening at the moment where, you know, we're looking at our community infrastructure, what that looks, is it suitable for the 21st century? And, you know, perhaps with a bit of guiding support from staff, that's what we need to be able to generate, you know, new clubs. I think it's not an easy, you know, overnight job to set a club up. And you know, I know of one down south which is becoming very successful, but I also know the amount of effort that has probably gone into getting that to where it is, to getting it is where it is now. So I think, you know, having that sort of staff support to, you know, to grow our community, as we keep saying, is really important.
You actually said a phrase there which kind of links both your question to me and mine to you very nicely together, and that's about, you know, somebody asked you and you got involved. And I think we can't estimate our members actually asking a relative, a friend, a neighbour to get involved. And then look what happened to you, you know. So it's exactly the kind of model that I'm thinking in order for us to grow and get more hands on deck. You know, you've just literally, you were it. You got asked, yeah, Taylor, I had a bit of a swim and you loved it. There you go, sorted.
Hooked.
So,
Quite literally hooked.
Exactly. So you are the epitome of my solution to the problem. We just need a few more of you.
No, indeed, it is so important. And I talk to my friends about it. They've seen it over my social media page. Oh, you're being a trustee of who's that? And it sparks interest. And I've had people saying, "Oh, can I vote for you?" And I'm like, "Well, no, you can't. 'Cause you're not a member. But you can pay the £25 if you want to. Like, if you're really genuinely interested, yes, you can." But it is that just, oh, okay, oh, Royal Life Saving Society, okay, well, they know about it. So I think that just general awareness as well, right? It's just so important, and being that household name, so people know that we exist, and when they see us at a local leisure centre, and got a kid, and the kid needs to do something on a Wednesday evening or something, the opportunity arises.
Absolutely, absolutely. I know in my 7 years at RLSS, or 3 years specifically out on the road, this brand was actually really important, and I was extremely proud to wear it. And colleagues of mine will know the conversations, because obviously because of the distance we were traveling, we did have vehicles, but they weren't branded, and the arguments we had about these cars being branded because of raising awareness of our society. So there's a lot to do as far as raising the awareness of RLSS UK and Ireland is concerned, and every member can play a part in that.
Yeah.
Telling the parents at the clubs, telling parents at the school gate to encourage people to get involved.
Yeah.
Again, talking to your neighbours and your friends. So that's word of mouth. It doesn't cost anything.
Yeah.
And if you're proud of wearing that badge and what RLSS stands for, then shout about it.
Yeah, too right. Exactly. Absolutely. Anyway, Andrea, this has been thoroughly enjoyable. Fancy meeting you here on a Wednesday evening. It's been great chatting, and yeah, I guess all the best for the election, and to all the other candidates. I think it's shaping up to hopefully be quite a race for the finish pole.
Absolutely, absolutely. Good luck to all the candidates too, and we'll see you all at the AGM.
Indeed. Lovely. Anyway, enjoy your evening, Andrea. Speak to you soon.
Take care.
See ya. Bye.